Shalom, Kol Halalim La Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachaha Korash, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahweh Shai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahweh Shai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahweh Shai. Okay, double honors to the apostles, elders, elder bishops of Great Millstone. Shalom to the prophets of that body, and shalom to the 144,001/3. May peace and blessings be upon your households. Okay. Side note: if you haven't subscribed, if you're sincere in this, if you're sincere and you want to learn about the truth, and the Lord Yahweh Shemeshah has been knocking on your head spiritually, and you're really, drawn to it, you know, you're learning things, everything's just clicking like a jigsaw puzzle in your mind, everything's coming together, and the men of the Lord, Yahweh Shemeshah's mouthpiece are the men of Great Millstone. They are the men of the Lord, and likewise, and the affiliate camps. I urge you to subscribe and learn. Okay, pardon my French. Stop bullshitting around. Learn. This is not a movie in a cinema where you can have popcorn and laugh and giggle. All right, this is a very serious matter. All right, right now you're comfortable sitting in your lazy boys with your laptop on your lip on your lap, with a cold Sprite with some ice in it, you know, chilling, you know, with your house shoes on. But very soon, you're going to be out in the cold, right? Because the serious times are coming. Now, I urge you to subscribe and learn, pay attention. But most importantly, if you are sincere and you are an Israelite by blood, okay, you are a so-called Negro, Latino, Native Indian, or an Israelite, scattered Israelite foreigner like myself from the diaspora, pursuant to Deuteronomy 28, verse 64, scattered, okay, because Jake means Jacob, has been in slavery in various parts of the world, not just America alone. All right, so our people are everywhere. All right, Second Exodus, Isaiah 11:11, 11 and 12 lets you know where we are. All right. Now that's a side note. Now get back to this video that I believe Elder Apostle Tahar, used to obviously teach, our elder bishops and other prophets, like back in the day in the 90s, they used to watch a lot of knowledgeable videos of what's to come. And these videos are from about 30 plus years ago. I was into this sort of thing as well as a youngster, I used to watch videos on the Illuminati and George Bush and this and the third, even before I knew, I found out I was an Israelite through the Spirit, you know. Obviously, finding out that I'm an Israelite is very recent, of course. Semi-recent, I'll put it that way, right? Yeah, but I was into this sort of thing as well. So then, as one of the elder bishops on the 22nd of March camp, that talked about his video, and I was intrigued, and I couldn't find it on YouTube, but I googled it, and I found it on this what's this called? This platform, Nerdspin, right? And how long is this video, by the way? 1 hour 17 minutes. And this is from 1994, right? And this guy, I haven't even watched it yet, so I'm just going to play it in a second. I'm not going to play the whole thing, of course. You guys can Google it yourself. And by the way, copyright fair use, 1976. I'm not going to make no money out of this. I'm not going to even say anything adverse to what this guy's going to say. I believe his name is Terry Cook, Terry L. Cook. I'm just going to go along with what he's saying. You know, um, obviously, filter it through the scriptures, and also, what's wrong with you what's wrong with you camps that teach that the mark of the beast, okay, the shaitan's system, shaitan meaning Satan or shaitan, right? What's wrong with yous? You say sin is dealing with so-called white women, dealing with heathen women, worshipping the so-called white man Jeebus, yeah. But when you dumb jakes that are in these camps, especially you individuals that wear purple all the time and stand in pyramid form, because we know what you're about, right? Um, and you other camps out there that also teach that it's sin. You can't see it. Either you have sold out, which I believe a lot of you have, or the Lord has just blinded you. Okay? As paraphrasing the scripture, as the election have obtained it and the rest were blinded. Let me just go to that scripture first. I'm going to play this. Bear with me. Scriptures are very important. The election have obtained it and the rest were blinded. KJV. Oh, sugar. Here we go. The election have obtained it and the rest were blinded. Romans 11:7. Okay. This one is quicker way through this. There you go. The KJV is closest to the Hebrew. Okay. Romans 11:7. What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. Okay. Now, the Lord is very powerful. The Lord controls the right hand side angels and the demons on the left hand side. There's probably just demons there that have literally put a thought process in your mind the same way a demon would think, make a mole to be a mole, to be a bull dyke, to be a dyke, right? To be someone evil, to be evil. As disgusting as those things are, there's demons out there that make you think that. Hence the reason we've got these disgusting people in this world. And the same way a demon can jump in your mind or work on your mind and make you think, that the mark of the beast is literally sin. Now, I want you to let me know, how will you buy and sell with sin? All right, let's go to Revelation 13:16 first, right? Revelation 13, verse 16, KJV, right? Revelation 13, 16, and 17. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Okay. Now, some camps are saying mark is the same word, literally the same definition throughout the Bible. So, are you telling me that you have a biblical name, Mark? Or are you saying that same? So that same, so someone's name could be Mark. So that same definition, the word Mark, is for every single scripture or verse in the Bible. It's not the same definition or verse. Hence the reason you have to go to the blue letter to get the definition of what those specific words mean. Okay, in their entirety. All right. In terms of the Hebrew and the Greek, what it exactly means. All right. The English language is not enough. A lot of you camps that say that the English language is enough. How come you guys have Hebrew names, but you call him Jesus Christ? I say Jesus because I'm not going to say Jesus, a heathenistic name. Fuck a Jesus, fuck a Christ. You understand? It's all about Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Brak Yahweh Shai. Okay? Jebus is a white guy, an Edomite. You guys wear fringes. You talk about the slave trade and everything else, but you never talk about the chariots returning. You never talk about World War III. You never talk about the crash of society, and you never talk about the name. Okay, Acts 4:12. There's only one name under heaven that we must be saved. You don't even talk about the name, how powerful the name is. You still call on the heathenistic name that when you were given by your slave master. It didn't work then. Do you think it's going to work now? A lot of you camps have sold out. And then you talk about the mark is dealing with white women. That's sin. All right. Now let's go to the next verse. All right. Or praying to Caesar Borgia, the so-called white man Jebus. Right. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. How are you going to buy and sell? Oh, I'm going to walk into a store and say, yeah, I deal with so-called, okay, right? And the shopkeeper could be an Edomite. Okay, Mr. Shopkeeper, right? Or storekeeper or Mr. Store Manager. I deal with Edomite women. I'm an Israelite. I deal with Edomite women. I uh, worship Jebus the Christ, right? Therefore, can I have, you know, 4 dozen eggs, right? 10 loaves of bread, a pound of butter, right? 4 gallons of milk, a case of beer, 2 bottles of bourbon, and he can say, okay, you would, okay, and boom, you can take it. How are you going to buy and sell with that? How are you going to buy and sell with that? So a lot of you camps have sold out, okay, have sold out. And Sons of Thunder as well. They do pretty much the same thing. I don't know about them. I think they just literally just blinded, or maybe, I don't know. I don't know about them. You know, some camps can appear to be sincere, and you just don't know what they're really about until that time comes. You know, some camps are literally just blinded. Maybe they'll wake up last minute. I don't know. Only Lord Yahweh Shemashai knows. But a lot of camps have sold out, and the people that wear the purple have definitely sold out. Okay, you can't be that stupid. Even wacky tacky Christians, Edomites, crackers, heathens know that the mark of the BEAST is the rice grain. I'm using codes, by the way, because Esau is going to cut down the video. Okay, I'm using code. I'm using code. I'm using what they called shadow talk. So you can understand what So I'm not being blatant with my words, right? Even wacky tacky Christians know. People, real Edomites, crackers, that believe in the white man Jebus and Santa Claus and all that bullshit. They actually know, right, that the rice grain in the hand is the RF to the I to the D. That is the mark of the BEAST. Okay, that's how you're going to buy and sell. You think physical money is going to last forever? If this kingdom is going to be blown to smithereens, what makes you think that the so-called white man's money system is going to be, still viable? Okay, if the new world order is going to be set up, you think they're going to still have paper money? Will it give you that freedom where you can buy and sell whatever you want, right? And the so-called white man Esau can't keep track of it. They want to keep track of it. Okay, the Lord Yahweh Shemashai. Okay, the Most High Power is the Yahweh, and His Son is Yahweh Shai. And then the Lord has His angels, and His angels. And Esau, what Esau wants to do? Esau wants to be like God. They want to have power. Okay, then Esau has his demons that work for him. Okay, as well as his agents. And then Esau also has a CCTV, which is like his left-hand side angels that can, want to see everything. They want to have that. They want to be all-seeing and all-knowing. Okay, they want to be like God. They want to be like the Most High. You understand? This system is going to fall. All this Bitcoin shit ain't gonna be worth nada. They're gonna put this rice grain in you, whether it's in your hand. All right. All right. The right hand is mentioned because the right hand is usually the dominant hand. Okay. Elon Musk has already showed you what can be done with the brain CHIP. People are already taking it. Like example, the Baja Club. I believe that's in Spain. You need the Charagma, which is the RF to the I to the D to be in the hand to get into it. Most of Sweden, I believe it's Sweden or Switzerland, has taken the rice grain. Hence the reason during the C19 period, they went on lockdown because they have already gone with the agenda of the so-called elites. Okay, right? But you camps, you Israelite camps that talk about the Israelites and the Black Messiah, and you call him the Lord Black, man. All right, even Malcolm X, he was simple, more than likely an agent, right? He even gave you the definition of what black means, man. It means dirty and dingy. So you call him the Lord Black. You know, you camps have sold out, man. Even wacky tacky Christians know what time it is. All right, Terry Cook could be an Israelite. He's bringing out the truth, or maybe he's just an Edomite. Because Esau is wiser than Daniel. Right? They do a lot of diligent research. They like to keep meticulous records of everything, and they like to compare and contrast. They like to map out shit. That's their thing. Yeah. But you camps are sold out. When the bubble goes pop, you guys are gonna know, man. You're gonna know what time it is. 1 second, I'm gonna play the video right now. Jeremiah 23 and 25, and this is to you camps that have sold out. Okay, you talk about the truth, but you're basically just wacky tacky Christians spewing the same Jeebus Christ doctrine, but all you guys are wearing is fringes, and you got the Israelite look. You wear the beards and all that, right? Okay, but so do wacky tacky Christians wear beards. Even they wear it too. I'm not. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a beautiful look. Having the royal look, but you guys are. I'm talking to Jake, right? It's a beautiful look to have the beards and the fringes. That's excellent, ain't no doubt. But you guys are just basically wacky tacky Christians with fringes. You spewing the same doctrine, right? Actually, these wacky tacky Christians are one up on you. They actually know what the mark of the BEAST is. All right. All right. You camps, you purple bandito camps, you purple bandits, man, you sold out. And you know it. All right. You wear the fringes, you got the look, all right? We still spew that same shit that you grew up in the Baptist church and the Catholic church learning, man. That Jeebus Christ bullshit. All right. All right, you bring out the little bit of it, you bring out the history of the Israelites, but do you talk about the truth, the entirety, what's about to come? You're paid not to. All right, especially you camps out on a 501c3. In Israelites out there need to beware of you. All right. I don't know the stance of HOI, but only the Lord knows. But I believe they're pretty much on the similar wavelength. They believe that the mark of the BEAST is spiritual, not literal. All right. There's things in the Bible that are literally literal. Some are spiritual. Some are allegorical. All right. Jeremiah 23. Okay. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, thy power of Yasharallah against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, saith the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And we can see what's happening to certain people of different camps, how the truth is brought out about them. They try and put negative spin on our elders and prophets. Yeah, but it's usually it's like being in a relationship, right? Your woman accuses you of cheating all the time, but when that bitch is actually cheating. So a lot of you fake leaders, right, accusing next man of being a PDF file, or next man being a Momo or whatever, and actually use you guys that were PDF files, graping little boys, ISUPK elder, the head of ISUPK. It's you, Mr. Peggy Sue, Gorilla, say no more. A lot of you are like that. A lot of you are, are part of the agenda as well, man. All right. And that's why the Lord is going to visit you, man. The Lord's going to visit, people like Nate too, man. And, camps out there that are literally paid not to teach the truth, because a lot of our people have sold themselves out for naught, and judgment's going to be heavier on you jakes that are in the truth, because you know the truth and you know the name and you don't teach the name. You got a lot of blood in your hands, man. All right. You're going to get it worse than a Kevin Hart, you know what I mean? That may I've heard about it, but it went over his head, because he just thought the Israelite truth is just something like Islam or, 5% shit, whatever. The 5% of stuff went over his head. You're going to get it worse than him. All right. So you're scattering the sheep, man. You're not bringing out the truth to them in its entirety. Anyway, let's get to the video now. All right. So copyright fair use 1976. All right. So what's up with you Israelite camps, man? That are not teaching the truth.
In everyone on planet Earth to track, to identify, and to control their lives. Is there a plan to inject a computer chip in everyone on planet Earth to track, to identify, and to control their lives? We'd like to welcome you to the program No ID Found. Here to tell us about all the technology that is soon to come upon us is Terry Cook from California. Terry, we'd love...
This is from 1994, 31 years ago. All right?
Love to welcome you to...
And our elders will bring out the truth prior to this. All right? The men of Great Millstone, the men of Yahweh Hashem Yashai, the mouthpiece of Yahweh Hashem Yashai. Double honors to them again. Elder Apostle Tar, Elder Apostle Rakar, Elder Apostle Aramlab, Elder Apostle Gabar, and all the bishops and elders, man. Double honors to them. Shalom.
To the program.
Praise God, Dale. I'm glad to be back today. Thank you very much.
Well, tell us.
There is a plan.
Is there a new world order?
There's a new world order.
Is there a new religion coming?
A new religion's coming. There's a new economic system coming. And indeed, there is a plan to number every person on the earth by means of injecting under their skin in either their right hand or their forehead a microchip, such as the ones we're holding in our hands, as displayed in these plastic boxes. And this is the scanner to read the ID chip with a radio wave. We're going to get into a lot more details a little bit further into the...
And they show you these things in movies, in cartoons, in shows, in commercials, from movies from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And the recent one is what they even show you in hip hop videos. All right. I don't even pay attention too much because, you hear a rap video, you might see a video, and you might be doing something in the house. You might be vacuuming or whatever. You might got the, your Bluetooth speakers connected to this, to the TV or whatever. You might even watch the video, right? Or you might, or simply you might not be paying attention because you might be listening to a CD. And yeah, I still listen to CDs. I like CDs. I like that physical shit, right? I like the old school hi-fis. I don't like all this modern. I don't like too much of today's technology, but nevertheless. Fat Joe, the lean back video, Elder Bishop, one of the elder bishops brought it out. Elder Bishop Taz, the historic, the brother who knows, the elder who knows a lot of history, man, really meticulous, amazing. He's got amazing knowledge that how Hashem has blessed him with. He said the lean back video of Fat Joe's, or when they go inside the club, they're using, I think is it Fat Joe or one of his, one of his crew or whatever. When they walk inside the club, they scan their hand to get in. So they have to have a charagma to get in. Okay, charagma meaning an incision in their hand, a rice grain in their hand, or RF to the I to the D, CHIP, like a Baha club. Okay, let me see here. Do you need an RFID chip to get into the Baha club? Okay. No, you don't need an RFID chip to get into the Baja Beach Club, as it's an option for VIP members to have a micro CHIP implanted for convenience, not a requirement for entry. I thought it was, but you know what? This is AI. AI is adjusting shit. Okay, yeah. So they give you certain enticements. The Baja Beach Club in Barcelona offers people signing up for VIP membership, very important person membership, a choice between the RFID CHIP and a normal card. VIP members can jump the entrance queues, reserve a table, and use the nightclub's VIP lounge. Okay, all right. This is from 2004, 21st of May. by Conrad Chase, managing director of the club. This is from like damn near what 21 years ago. So just a lot has changed now. Is there any recent news? Type in 2025. You'd see how far back it's going. VIP members. So a lot of people are going to take it, and women are definitely going to take it. They don't want to be in the queue. I mean, actually, they let women in free, don't they? Quickly. And men don't want to be in the queue. There's like a line of 60, 70 people outside a club, and you want to get in. Oh yeah, I want to get there. I want to jump the queue. I can have a VIP table. I can pop bottles. I can get it in. You know. Spanish nightclub embeds RFID CHIPs in customers. It's called the rice grain here. Rice grain sized. Let me just read this. Spanish nightclub, it embeds RFID CHIPs in customers. It's from 2004 again. Barcelona nightclub patrons may be able to leave their credit cards and IDs at home with the help of a tiny. Get out of here. See if I can. Damn it. May be able to leave their credit cards at home and IDs at home with the help of a tiny RFID CHIP embedded under their skin called a very chip. Fuck it, just say it. CNN reports the system is designed to thwart identity theft and fraudulent credit card use. For €125, Baja Beach Club. Let me just quickly get out of this. I don't want to subscribe to it. Actually, I will subscribe to it. I just don't want to put my personal email right now. For €125, Baja Beach Club patrons can have the rice grain size CHIP implanted in their body. Once complete, clubbers pass through a scanner which activates the CHIP and emits a signal containing their numbers and transmits it to a secure data storage site. Club goers can buy drinks using the scanner and pay the bill later. All right. He didn't say. See, news says one thing, but it says something else here. It doesn't say anything about VIPs that you're going to take that. It just says, what does it say here? Club goers. It doesn't say VIP club goers. It says club goers can buy drinks using the scanner and pay the bill later. Conrad Chase, the club's director, told CNN that 10 regular customers, including himself, sport the CHIP, and he expects many to follow. He says the club CHIP works as an in-house debit card and contains no personal information and poses no health risks. Okay, now when is this from? This is from June the 8th, 2004. Obviously, they're going to say all these things back then. They might even say it now. All right? Because people think that they can have the CHIP and have a debit card on the phone. But nope, it's going to go to everything's going to be on that CHIP. All right? A lot of indications are given in movies and shows. Okay, example, Back to the Future, Part 2. In the future, don't they mention that the fact that the fashion is wearing your pockets inside out? Why do they wear their pockets inside out in the future, in Back to the Future? In that movie, Part 2. Because there's not going to be no physical cash. That's an indication there. I don't remember because I haven't seen it for a while. But I believe in the show, they show Biff when he's taking the taxi. In the future, he's using his thumbprint. I think so. But obviously, it's going to be more serious than that. It's going to be scanning your hand. And, check out the lean back video with Fat Joe as well. So they let you know. All right. All right. Let's go to. They're going to insert it in your hand, right? Let's read the scripture here. Let's go to the blue letter. All right. I've got it lined up and ready here. Revelation 13:15. This is the blue letter. This gives you the definition of words, okay, and its meanings. All right. I believe, if it's Greek or Hebrew, you can get the definitions of certain words. Okay. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. All right. If you don't take it, you're going to be deleted. All right. That's why they got those, what do you call them? Guillotines lined up. Millions of them coming into America and other parts of the world, concentration camps. A lot of these places becoming vacant. You know, your Costco's, your Toys R Us's. Remember Toys R Us? You know, a lot of those massive buildings are just like empty warehouses now. They're using it for something else, but they're going to be used to store a lot of people in the future. You know, very soon as well. You know, like prison holding cells and shit like that, and torture chambers. Revelation 13:16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Okay, all types of people, small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. All right. So your poor people, your regular folk, your rich folk, people that are literally walking around free, people that are locked down, shackled down. You know, some people are going to be enticed. Okay, cool. You're locked down. You know, you got 20 years inside prison. Why don't you take this CHIP, right, and take this crash course in rehabilitation? I think they put another chip, CHIP, in them in their brain or something, and you can go through all the trauma in literally 7 minutes. And they do have that technology. I made a video about it, but I don't want to touch on that right now. I just want to focus on this. But they have that technology. All right. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Verse 18, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 score and six, which is 666. All right, let's go to Revelation 13:16. Right, get the definition of mark. Right, where is it? Both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. All right, Charagma. Right, let's go there, get the definition of it. Also, the translation of that word. Okay, the word mark there in the Greek is charagma. Okay, right, and here is the broken down. Right, a stamp, an imprinted mark, of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as a badge of the followers of the Antichrist. The mark branded upon horses, thing carved, sculpture, graven work of idolatrous images. Now, I remember reading this a while back. They had it where it says insertion or incision or etching into the flesh. So they're taking the etching part out, which means like you're putting something inside the flesh. Actually, no, it's here. It's here. It's actually here. We did say insertion as well, and I believe what they do is they also change it, but they leave certain words there, but certain words they do take out as well. Where because if any words that sort of describe uh, the truth in its entirety blatantly, they're going to sort of like take certain words away, and so you think that it could be or it could not be, so your thoughts get swayed in their specific direction. But it is literally an insertion. Here we go. Strong's definitions. Charagma, which is a Greek word for mark. All right, in Revelation 13:16, from the same as G5482, a scratch or etching, i.e., stamp as a badge of servitude or sculptured figure. Okay, scratch or etching. Okay, i.e., stamp as a badge of servitude or sculptured figure. Okay, now how is this right? Spiritual when it's a literal thing. How are you going to buy and sell, right? How are people going to pay for things, all right? So they show you in movies like I Am Legend, when Will Smith runs into the bank to get his dog back from the zombies, or those people that sort of like those people that have been infected. There's piles and piles and piles and piles of money there. This money is only valid if there's a system to be using, but there's no system. The system's going to collapse. Okay, how are these so-called elites going to be all seeing and all knowing on the left-hand side in this satanic kingdom that they want to set up, which is not going to come into fruition? How can they get it to that level? They have to have the RF to the I to the D, so they know your thoughts. They can be the thought police, like Minority Report, right? They can know what you're thinking, right? What you're doing, where you are, how much you're spending in terms of the credits they're going to give you, Well, if they call it credits, people that take the CHIP, they're gonna know all these things. They're gonna know when you're having sex with your woman, you know, they're gonna know when your woman is having sex with you. They're gonna know all these things. All right, they're gonna know what you're doing. You do something against them, behaving right. They can just press a button, maybe delete you, maybe make your brain explode, maybe give you a seizure or give you a little shock to keep you in line. Okay, and that's why you got these individuals that have these talk shows or podcasts online. One of them being called Prison Planet. Okay, we literally are on a prison planet, but they're going to step it up a little further with this Charagma. All right. So what's up with you camps that do not teach the truth? Even wacky tacky Christians, right, with these Jeebus Christ Edomites and heathens know that the mark of the BEAST is a rice grain within the hand or the forehead. Elon Musk has shown you. They're going to entice you with, um, you know, individuals walking, running. They put it in movies like Upgrade. Okay, the actor from Venom that was in it, that movie where he's in a wheelchair and he wants to walk again. He wants to he wants to get vengeance. So they put the thing in him. They put the Charagma in him, right? People want to when the financial crash happens, people want their life back. People want normalcy. They want to pay for goods and services. They want to go to a club. They want life again. They want to be normal again. They want some kind of feel of normalcy. So people are going to be lined up to take it, and the women are going to take it, of course. Especially you bad bees, especially, oh, I can do bad by myself. You're going to take it. All right. But the elect are not going to take it. All right. Because the elect are going through their licks right now. All right. Because while the rest of you are out there in the world, everything's going hunky dory and everything's lovely. The elect are going their licks right now. But soon the tables are going to turn for the elect when hell breaks loose. It's going to be not a smooth transition. It's not going to be seamless. Back's going to be pushed against the wall, but the faith is going to be strong where the Lord's going to get us out of it. Because many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord Yahweh Hashem shall delivereth us out of all of them. Paraphrasing scripture. Okay? The rest of you is going to take it. Now, let's play this now. All right.
The program, Del, but these plastic box means of injecting under their skin in either their right hand or their forehead a microchip, such as the ones we're holding in our hands, as displayed in these plastic boxes. And this is the scanner to read the ID chip with a radio wave. We're going to get into a lot more details a little bit further into the program, Del, but let's share with people briefly the concept that there is a whole new infrastructure, a whole new plan, a whole new system of identification that's coming that government documentation reveals will be in place no later than the year 2000. In fact, there's a new world army coming. And as you mentioned, Reagan introduced this concept of a new world army for the United Nations, operated through and by the United
Now, the year 2000 thing, right? They always give these dates. Obviously, Esau wanted to get everyone CHIP'd by the 80s, early 80s, but they're behind schedule. That's why, pursuant to Revelation 12 verse 12, the devil hath but a short time. Okay, and they as you can see, time's going faster as well. So Esau's got short time, man. Pursuant to Revelation 12 verse 12, so they're gonna really get it in now because they're trying to get the new world order off the ground because they know the Lord is returning, and then they want a quick time solidify that if they can. But you know what? They know they won't be able to. All right, they won't be able to. They think they are gonna, but they won't be able to. Revelation 12 verse 12. The devil hath but a short time, so they're going to come down in great wrath. Paraphrasing scripture there.
United Nations. In other words, there'll be a global police force, a global army.
And that's why we're coming to the fruition of that. All this digital wallet, all these kinds of things, this kind of talk. Cashless. The term's cashless. I've been hearing that term everywhere. I went to park my car. I went to town, last Friday night. Parked my car in a sort of what do you call it, like a there's 3-story car park places. As soon as I drove in, you could hear like a robotic voice saying, "Car parking here is cashless, cashless, cashless." These terms. And I thought, damn, man, it seems like like you're in a movie like Total Recall or some kind of sort of futuristic type movie, even though Total Recall was made 35 years ago. You know, it's very that term cashless is being thrown everywhere, man. You know, people aren't even taking cash like they used to. You know, even though people say cash is king, cash is not going to be no longer king.
Operated out of the United Nations headquarters, and they'll be the Gestapo on planet Earth by the year 2000.
So this what we've been seeing, this army, this United Nations, it's a part of it. I remember hearing.
Well, that army's come in now. They're in the disguise as migrants. You've got literal migrants that are trying to so-called get a better life for their families because the so-called white man has destroyed all the different parts of the world and stolen their wealth. Fuck those countries up. Hence the reason these people are coming to so-called England and America and Australia, the sort of strongholds of the so-called white man. Even those lands are stolen from the indigenous people, right? And they're coming there. And also, along with them, individuals are a lot of what you call martial law troops and soldiers from across the world, because it's not going to be the country, it's not going to be armies of the country that are going to be controlling things. It's going to be American soldiers along with soldiers from abroad that are going to be doing their thing in America. All right. And same thing here and Australia and other parts of the world as well. All right. It's going to be like a, what do you call it? An international kind of army, you know, like people from everywhere, you know, people from everywhere come together for a common cause, which is to do the work of the powers that be, the elites, to, you know, their sort of their army that's aligned to them. You know, it's not going to be no American army versus the Russians and all that shit. They, you know, they're gonna ain't gonna be none of that. You know, it's gonna be like you know, like you know, like they show in old school movies, like Rocky Four or America versus Russia. That's literally going to happen again, of course, when the nukes go off. But there's going to be certain countries that are going to band together, okay? Because a lot of these martial law troops, if you look at them in America, a lot of the soldiers are from India, Middle East, you know, different parts of the world. Other European countries are going to come there, join the American soldiers to, you know, be martial law troops in America, you know, in different parts of the world. Same thing over here as well. So a lot of these migrants are basically just soldiers in disguise waiting for that call to get down.
For years now, talk about the coming together of the nations, but we're beginning to see it.
We're beginning to see it. The Bible specifically says that in the
Okay.
For years now, talk about the coming together of the nations, but we're beginning to see it.
We're beginning to see it. The Bible specifically says that in the
It's Satan fucking around. Let me see if I can refresh the page, get it going.
Is there a plan to inject a computer chip in everyone on planet Earth to track, to identify, and to control their lives? We'd like to welcome you to the program No ID Found. Here to
No ID found.
and with NAFTA just having passed, we
do you feel that's part of it?
that was definitely part of it.
To see it.
We're beginning to see it. The Bible specifically says that in the last days, and I believe we're currently living in those last days, there'll be a 10 kingdom confederacy. You know, for many years, theologians thought that it would be a 10 nation confederacy out of Europe. Initially, it looked like that, but now we're beginning to see the real plan unfold as what was related in the Treaty of Rome during the 60s in Europe. And that Treaty of Rome specifies that there'll be a world community of kingdoms of nations, that the world will be divided into 10 segments. And with NAFTA just having passed, we
do you feel that's part of it?
That was definitely part of it. And that united essentially Canada, Mexico, and the United States into this Treaty of Rome Region 1 for this satanic global new world order, world government.
They're calling it economic systems. They're like, bring them together for economics. They're saying it's a good thing. It opens up trading zones.
Right.
It'll help create more jobs. It'll help stimulate business people.
That's right.
But really, ultimately, it's a goal of the devil.
It's a goal of the devil. And this new economic promise they're making is going to require an entirely new identification system so that we can all be moved into a cashless society where there's no money, there's no dollar bill, there's no coin in your pocket at all. There's a new means of purchasing things called the debit system. Of course, we're being brainwashed into that system right now. We're being conditioned into a cashless society by means of the ATM cards that we're presently using at the bank. But ultimately, however, those cards that can be lost will be replaced by an implantable biochip under the skin of our right hands and in our foreheads, and they'll be read with radio wave scanners. And that's what this is, Dell.
So really, the beginning of the credit card system, credit, being in debt, was the conditioning to get us to accept this more and more and more. We see it happening at filling stations. We see it happening at the marketplaces where we buy our groceries.
That's right.
They're trying to get everybody to buy into this thing, and eventually we're going cashless.
Eventually, and very soon. I believe that.
But what about the person that argues and says it'll not happen for a millennium?
Well, we're gonna dissuade that sort of argument today. Hopefully, by the time we will have completed this program, we'll have educated people to realize that these things we're discussing now are about or no more than 6 years off. In other words, we're in 1994 now for the purpose of this video. By the year 2000, these men who are bringing about this new world political order, the new world economic order, and the new world global religion, they all say in their own documentation that all of this will have been accomplished by the year 2000. So we're not setting dates. We're relating information as Christian investigators and reporters here today to hopefully give you some kind of synopsis and some kind of global understanding as to what's going on and how this secular understanding fits into the fulfillment of Bible prophecy regarding the last days and the second coming of Christ. That's why I call my ministry Second Coming Ministries.
You believe he's coming back?
He's coming back soon. And if we can measure that by the end of the age, which is the year 2000, Jesus said he'd be back, or he'd actually be with us until the end of the age. Now, the end of the age is the year 2000. That's a 2,000-year span of time. That also completes 6,000 years from Adam, and that has a lot of prophetic significance as well. Many theologians believe that the year 2000, or the completion of 6,000 years from Adam and Eve, will conclude God's plan. So one way or another, no matter how you look at it. In fact, Dell, recently there was a program on secular television called Ancient Prophecies. Most of it dealt with occultic observations and occultic projections regarding specifically this year 2000 and how it may conclude everything and end time as we know it.
We see just by history, every time there's a change from the end of a millennium into a new one, there is major changes.
Well, yeah.
At the end of the 1800s and the beginning of the 1900s.
All right. Okay, that's what I want to play. Obviously, I can't play the whole thing. So yeah, we're in that time. Obviously, at that time when this documentary was made, there were certain timelines they assumed. Obviously, Esau wants to get this off the ground as quickly. They're actually behind their timeline because the Lord allowed that timeline to go the way the Lord Yahweh Shemashah wanted it, because the elect had to be woken up. So if the Charagma was given to everyone in the 80s, the elect wouldn't be. There's a lot of the elect would have, that are still waking up, wouldn't have woken up. You know what I mean? So obviously things had to play out according to Yahweh Shemashah's timeline, because the Lord controls everything. Okay, and hence the reason why things the way they went. But as you can see, they knew back then that this is coming, and now we're at that point where it's actually happening. At that time, in the 90s, The world was a mirthy place. There's a lot to do. Fun was there. Optimism was there. People were looking into the future and, enjoying the time. Because, if you're young, listen, if you were 19, 20 years old in the 90s, like I was, mid 90s, I was about 18, 19 at the time when this came out, right? The world was a different place. Actually, it was a so-called fun place. It was. There was a lot, it was a very different world back then, right now. Now, when you compare and contrast, if you're old enough to uh, know the world in the mid 90s, right, you know that we are in a very different place right now. Okay. And with people, you know, it's like the mobile phone or the iPhone is like another limb or a hand for people. Now, once the iPhone is eliminated, they'll cause something to happen where the iPhone will be eliminated. Phones being stolen or whatever, something wrong with the technology of the phone, whatever they're going to do, I don't know. Only the Lord knows. But they're going to have it where something goes wrong, and they're going to, and the financial crash, and then people are going to be lined up to take the CHIP, the rice grain in the hand, as Revelation 13:16 says. Right? People are going to take it. So there's many enticements. There's a financial enticement. They might give you, say, okay, if you get the CHIP, you can get, £5,000 or $5,000 into your account straight away, or onto your hand straight away, so you can uh, pay bills and take care of your family. Um, those that are paraplegics or in wheelchairs or whatever, you can walk and talk again. Here's this, take the rice grain in your brain. Elon Musk, has already come out with that and showed it, right? If you want to keep your children safe, they might stage a whole lot of, but these Edomites, these elites, this children disappear all the time, okay? And we know why they do it and what their agenda is. I'm not going to go into that right now, but children disappear all the time, and they'll probably do more, and it will stage more as well, where they can put it in the public eye and put it in media, because they actually, this is what they do: problem reaction solution, Hegelian dialectic, I believe you call that. Pressure from above, pressure from below. So what they're going to do is stage that, and children, mothers are going to be in fear of their children disappearing or whatever, and their mothers are going to start putting the RFI to the D into the children as well. So there's various factors around this, man. Various enticements they're going to use to get you to line up to take this. They've already got you ready and lined up during the time 4 years ago, when people were lined up and scared about what came out in the world, in the from the laboratories of the elites. The concoctions they come up with the 1-9. I'm not going to say no more. People are already lined up to take the so-called antidote. So they already got in that mindset of being lined up and ready, like sheeple, and it will happen again. Okay, but the elect are protected. The elect of Yahweh B'Shem Hashai. All right. Now back to the fact of the matter. All right. So what's wrong with the rest? Even wacky-tacky Christians know what time it is when it comes to the mark of the BEAST. So what's up with you other camps that can't understand it, can't get it? Either you have sold out or the Lord is not dealing with you. All right. I believe other camps possibly could have been just the Lord hasn't opened their eyes to it, but the guys in purple, right, have definitely sold out. And so have other camps. The guys that dress in black. I think their stance is the same as IUIC. Could be wrong. I think it's the same as IUIC. But a lot of camps are not teaching the truth, man. All right. When this comes out, I want to see, as our elders will say, what you tell your congregation. All right. And the elect are going to come out of these fucked up camps, man. They're going to look for the men of the Lord, the men of Great Millstone, and the affiliate camps. And because elect are everywhere. All right. The elect are everywhere. But the truth is taught by the men of Yahweh B'Shem Yashai, the men of Great Millstone, the elders on down, Apostle Tahar, Aramlab, Rakah, Apostle Gabar, yeah, and their students, the bishops, and the bishop students, the prophets. There's a chain of command. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. All praises to Yahweh B'Shem Yashai B'Shem Rakah Kodash. See, even Esau and wacky-tacky Christians know what the the mark of the beast is, Revelation 13:16. So what's up with you other camps that do not teach the truth? All right, you're going to find that soon enough. All right, you're going to find that soon enough. Anyway, all praise to Yahweh Shemeshai. Shalom. Check it out. It's on this, yeah? Nerd Spin. Shalom.